The richest poker players on the planet have landed in Monaco for the last leg of EPT 10. It's super high roller time at the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final. Welcome to Monaco and the conclusion of our historic 10th season. We kick off the EPT Grand Final Festival with the €100,000 Super High Roller.
All the biggest names in the deepest pockets have flown in from around the world, apparently some of them by Airwolf.
Well, this is the biggest buy-in event we have on the European Poker Tour, and with unlimited re-entries on day one, the prize pool is huge. But on day two, rebuys are not an option.
No mulligans, no do-overs, no redos.
What about takesy-backsy?
I said no! Okay. God!
This tournament costs 100K to play, but Ole Schemion is in for just 10K after winning a satellite event here in Monaco. 10 players needed to reload after busting on day one, and Daniel Coleman fired 3 bullets, bringing his total buy-in to 300 grand. 40 players will take to the tables on day two, but only the final table will share in the €6 million prize pool, with 1.8 million going to the winner. Previously, at the PCA, we saw Mike McDonald fall at the final hurdle in his quest to become the first ever two-time EPT main event champ. But then, in San Remo, the entire poker world calling for a deuce. No ace, no king, no 10, no 7. It's a brick! It's a brick! Vicky Corrin has done it! She is the first player in the history of 10 seasons of the European Poker Tour to win 2 main event titles.
I'm in some kind of combination of shock and disbelief. I hope what people think is, it's really not an impossible dream. If Timex had been the first person to win 2, as he easily could have been, people would go, well, I could never emulate that. And I hope they look at me and go, I could do that too. And the truth is, they really could.
While the current #1 ranked player in the world is also coming off a win in San Remo, Ole Schemion took down the high roller, and his results keep piling up.
Lately, I'm really on a good heater. Final table at the main event in Prague, final table at the super high roller in PCA, the regular high roller in PCA as well. I think I'm trying my best, put people at the test. Yeah, it's working out so far.
The real Kid Poker knows a thing or two about achieving success at a young age and can relate to the poker prodigy.
I really like Ole. He's ripping it up. He has a unique style and I admire it. We play very different styles, but I think we have a mutual respect for each other. He's very determined, he works really hard. I mean, when I was young, I did the same kind of thing. He's very mature for a 21-year-old.
Ole is the big stack at the feature table, but will have to contend with several former young guns, all wanting to take each other down. Well, play's about to get underway here inside La Salle des Étoiles, the Room of the Stars.
All the usual bosses are here. Vanessa Gannon Selps has a stack that high rules. And Daniel Motherbrain Negreanu, he's got an even bigger stack, that eggplant wizard.
Gus Hansen bought in for the first time today, as did David Peters.
Antonio rubbing Gus's head for luck or cleaning his fingernails. I think Ike's tweet should read, woke up early today, fell into a pile of horrible, only escaped with the shirt on my back. And look, he's tweeted a picture of the exact opposite of his shirt.
Richard Young is a super high roller regular, and this time round he's brought several friends with him from Macau.
They'll be the ones sleeping on the big piles of money.
Phil Gruesome starts day 2 as chip leader. And another Phil
Phil Ivey is one of the stars on the main stage.
Shh, I've seen this before on the Nature Channel. He'll get there. That's right, Jason. He is the greatest in the world. His nemesis, a vacuum-sealed bag. I think he'd have an easier time just trying to win new ones off people.
You think Phil will be used to unbagging chips by now?
He used the scissors to make a tiny hole so he could continue using his arms. Ah! This guy is never not aggressive.
Man, this is nothing like my table draw yesterday. It was pretty good.
I think the only pretty good table in this tournament is the one closest to the bar.
So we kick off day 2 of the Super High Roller with blinds at 3,000, 6,000 with a 1,000 ante. Ole Schemion first to speak. He's got queens under the gun.
Oh, hi.
And that's a raise to 14,000. Paul Newey has ace-king suited.
First hand, and we are already headed for a collision.
Newey counting out a re-raise. He 3-bets to 40,000. Round to Mike McDonald in the big blind, who's got kings.
OMG, this is just a sick, sick cooler.
All in.
Mike shoves.
And I don't think Ola can fold, having both these guys way covered.
Schemion 5-bets, enough to put Newey all in.
Paul's got about 20% of his stack in the middle, and I don't think he's supposed to fold this. Offsuit, there's an argument. Suited, I think he's got to try to triple up here.
He calls all in.
Paul's not the most experienced player at the table, but he's got the bankroll to play just as fearlessly as the rest of them.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Got the ace.
Ace gonna come, I guess. I definitely deserve to lose one of these eventually this year.
Mike's having a pretty good year.
You owe me an ace from the PCA.
Paul bubbled that tournament. Awkward.
A 3-way coup to start the day, and kings are holding on that flop.
There's a spade there.
Newey's the only one who even flopped a backdoor.
The turn card is a 9. Newey's looking for an ace on the river. Schemion needs a queen. It's a 10. A triple up for Timex, and Paul Newey is out.
Well, guys, the ace didn't come.
We saw.
Again, Paul.
Aw, Paul Newey.
He always loses with grace. He's a class act, this guy.
Can't fold.
Dude, it was queens. Good news, Paul. You can still afford to get into any club in town, even dressed like that.
Over to the secondary feature table.
You get 100,000 euro in with 7 deuce, man. Not really.
To be fair, Altagot was crippled in the previous hand.
That's how you get chip leader, man. You have to make those calls.
Now we got a classic flip.
Altagot now with 2 pair and an 82% favorite to survive.
Less classic.
Oh, it's an ace.
All right. Good luck.
Sorry. Oh, no worries, no worries.
The defending champ is gone.
Couldn't you have picked a better spot, Max? Jeez, you're a defending champion. Try reading a poker book. 7 deuce. Ugh.
So Phil Gruesome rivers a straight and increases his chip lead. So only the final table will get paid in this event. A min cash is worth 241,000 euros. The winner will receive more than 1.8 million. Back at the main stage, where the action is on Phil Ivey. Ace-9 under the gun +1, he raises. Queen-10 suited for Mike McDonald in the cutoff.
Mike's not even thinking of calling or raising. He's just contemplating the fact that he might have to give Phil Ivey the stare down.
Mike calls. Peter Chan has just joined the feature table. He folds.
How much are you playing? About?
Oh boy.
230.
Ace-Queen suited for Ole Schemion. He just calls. Jason Mercier getting a great price in the big blind. King-7 offsuit.
He's getting mad pot odds, yo.
He calls as well, and we are going 4-way to the flop. No respect for Phil Ivey's raises.
Well, it is ace-9.
Top pair for McDonald, second pair for Mercier. Schemion and Ivey miss. But it won't stop Ole Schemion betting.
And that is a bizarre lead. I wonder what his plan is here. Looks like he's going to fold out one better hand. Ivey can't really call either. But you can tell he doesn't like it. Not one bit, Schemion, not one bit. Top pair, good kicker. Mike probably can't fold. This is a pretty dry board. In general, not be a great move to lead with value hands. So Mike probably doesn't think Ole looks super strong here either.
Mike does call. We go heads up to the turn.
So lucky you didn't have to do this with Ivey. You think he would have done it? You think he would have stared Ivey down?
Jack of diamonds, and Schemion picks up gut shot outs.
Not sure what Ole's plan was if the board bricked, but I do know this is a good card for him to double barrel now.
And he does bet again, 62,000.
Think this bet is going to get a lot of folds. But he's not playing against any random player. He's playing against Mike Timex McDonald. You don't get to be the first guy to have a yellow Lambo in Waterloo, Canada from falling off the back of the turnip truck. Oh, I guess you do.
Timex folds, and Schemion gets a bit back from McDonald, adding 67,000 to his stack.
Unorthodox line from Ole, but since it won him the pot, I'm going to go ahead and say we like it.
Schemion back up to 663,000. Let's head to the outer tables, where it's Daniel Negreanu versus Gus Hansen. Daniel has checked the turn.
Dang it. I was hoping you wouldn't do that. You son of a gun. My hand's too good. Not folding.
Daniel calls the bet.
I would complain and call anyway.
Well,
That's strong.
That's really strong. Check.
Honest guy.
It goes check, check on the river.
So close enough.
Gus tried to bluff Daniel with an overpair. What a joker. It's like trying to get an internet troll to have empathy.
Play good cards, man. Look like I had 10.
Well, Daniel Negreanu has now taken the chip lead. Phil Gruesome and Peter Chan also have seven-figure stacks. And Ole Schemion sits in fourth with 685,000. Back to the action at the main feature table. It's on Mike McDonald. He folds. Peter Chan also passes. Ole Schemion has King Jack.
King Jack, hijack.
Yeah, keep going.
He raises to 14,000. Jason Mercier folds.
I'll wait until Peters is out.
As does David Peters. Pocket sixes for Phil Ivey in the small blind.
Well, we know he's not folding. I just hope he acts quickly. He doesn't like the cameras to be on him too long.
He calls.
You got like two left?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, Justin Bonomo has folded the big blind, so we're heads up to the flop, and Ivey flops a set because he's Phil Ivey. He checks.
Is that really all it takes, is being Phil Ivey to flop a set? Why haven't I thought of that?
Schemion checks behind, ace on the turn. Ivey checks a second time.
Magic 8 Ball, is Ole gonna try to rep this ace? Ask again later. Ask again later again. Well, great, now it's too late. You suck, Magic 8 Ball.
Schemion's delayed continuation bet is 21,000. Ivey check raises, makes it 60,000. And Schemion folds.
I think Phil's raise would have chased out a lot of better hands of Ole's too, but maybe not. His image is pretty aggro. Ooh, and he got the Ivey glare. I got that once when I asked Phil if he wanted to come to my birthday party.
Well, Ivey is widely regarded as the greatest on the scene. Who do you think is the best player in the world? Tag your responses, EPT. The PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final Super High Roller is filled with past and present poker prodigies. Phil Ivey is widely regarded as the best player in the game. Antonio Esfandiari won the largest buy-in tournament ever, and Daniel Negreanu was recently named GPI Player of the Decade. But 21-year-old Ole Schemion is currently on top.
He's ranked #1 in the Global Poker Index right now. He's done great for 2 straight years, doesn't make many mistakes. Anytime Ole Schemion is in a tournament, you have to feel he's a favorite to win.
I know Daniel very well, and just so you know, when he says someone is a favorite to win, he means huge fish. Okay, not really, but can you imagine? I got you guys good.
Blinds 4,000, 8,000 with a 1,000 ante. Ace King for Ole Schemion.
Hey, Ace King, all right.
Picking up hands today for sure. Raises under the gun to 20,000. Gets a fold from Mercier and Ivey. Bonomo's out. Mike McDonald is in the small blind and has King Jack suited.
Yum, yum. Too juicy to get away from. But now onto something other than Mike McDonald's lips. How about that hand? I'm gonna go get some water.
McDonald calls. Peter Chan in the big blind. Queen 7 off. He folds. So heads up to the flop and Mike is dominated. But it's a Queen 10 deuce 2 spade flop and Mike's now the favorite with straight and flush draws. Action goes check check. 4 diamonds on the turn.
This board kind of smashes Mike's small blind calling range. And I think he's usually going to start firing now.
He bets 35,000. Schemion's gone back to being the favorite, a 2-to-1 favorite. And he calls with ace king high. He has a gut shot of his own, of course. Well, the board bricks out for both players.
Mike's only shot at winning this is to fire at it.
And fire he will, 80,000.
Mike's actually got very few bluffs in his range.
But this is one of them. So it's Ole Schemion's turn to get bluffed after he got Mike to lay down the best hand earlier on today.
In that hand, Ivey open raises,
Raised to 12,000.
Timex flat calls on the cutoff, and I look down at ace queen suited in the small blind.
How much are you playing?
230.
It's not so nice to 3-bet call against Ivey for like 40 big blinds, so I decided to just call. And the big blind called as well.
And call.
The flop was 10-7-3 rainbow with a backdoor flush draw for me. I can rep some good hands on this board. I can second barrel on a lot of turn cards, and I bet 25k. The first 2 guys fold. He can't really do too much if he doesn't have a good hand, and that's what I try to do, put people into tough spots. And Timex decides to call, and the turn is a jack. I pick up a gut shot and still have 2 overcards to the board. Every bluffing range gets completed with the jack, so I decide to second barrel.
Bet 62,000.
I bet and he fold. Ace queen is probably one of the few bluffs I have there. Pretty standard spot if I get to the turn for me.
Getting it all in with 2 aces before the flop is a standard spot. Donk leading into Jason Mercier, Mike McDonald, and Phil Ivey with air is not a standard spot.
Action has been folded to Schemion in the small blind. He has aces!
See, now this will probably be standard.
Ole just keeps picking up big hand after big hand.
He's had more big hands than the Foo Fighters Everlong video.
He's setting a trap with this one. He just calls, and Jason Mercier has ace-king in the big blind.
That's not going to be good for business. That's not going to be good for anybody. Except probably Ole Schemion.
Mercier responds to the limp by raising. A total of 26,000.
How many clicks does it take to get to the center of a cold deck pot? A 1. A 2.
And this is a 3-bet to 78,000.
A 3.
Jason Mercier. 4 bets to 168,000.
A 4.
All in.
Schemion 5-bet shoves.
5 clicks.
And Mercier calls.
Just a very unfortunate spot for Jason. Merce dog is a huge dog.
And he knows it.
That wasn't a sigh, that was a sad bark.
They're counting it out for me.
561.
They're counting it out for me.
Some folks think that's lucky.
Not much hope for Mercier on that flop.
You have more, right?
A little more, not much.
Jason likes to be drawing dead on the turn. Sure enough,
Game. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Mercier is eliminated, and Ole Schemion will move up over the 1.1 million mark.
How much was it there?
561.
Oh yeah, it could be really close.
Always sad to see the Merc dog go, although not as sad as Marley and me.
Sick setup.
Sickest setup I've seen since my aunt tried to get me to date my own cousin. By marriage.
At the outer tables, another all-in where it's really close. Vanessa is at risk, but Antonio doesn't have much behind.
It's a race, like salty versus sweet. This is a statistical dead heat. Ooh, that rhymes. Good times.
Sevens are holding. Vanessa has to fade a king or a jack on the river. It's a king!
I didn't think I was going to win it.
160, 320, 350, something like that.
Well, that was salty and sweet. Anyway, she's out. 100,000 euros gone. Let's not dwell on that. Let's dwell on who's still in.
Antonio Esfandiari, #1 on the all-time money list, and recently scored a 4th place finish in the PCA Super High Roller. We're heading back to the main stage, where Johannes Strassman and Ike Haxton have just been moved to the feature table. We're going to sweat with Mike McDonald.
Well, you know I'm on board for that.
And looks like Mike will be playing against Phil Ivey. He's raised under the gun to 16,000. Mike's hand is king-queen suited.
Even though Phil raised under the gun, he's probably still pretty wide.
Be decent.
No.
But we can't really go 3-betting him. We've got a great hand to see a flop.
Mike has called in position. Anybody else want to play? Just Ike Haxton in the big blind.
That's the kind of shirt that should come with a free bowl of soup. Looks good on him, though.
He folds, so heads up to the flop.
Playing Ivy heads up is like playing against 2 other regular human opponents.
Jack, Jack 10 on the flop. Mike with an up and down straight draw. Ivy checks.
No continuation bet. I think usually he's going to check his very, very strong hands and his marginal hands. Either way, I'm fine with a semi-bluffing this.
Mike has bet 25,000.
And since this is a wet board, I think there's lots Ivy could call with.
He calls. So we go to the turn, and Mike pairs his queen.
A lot of draws just got there, but we're now beating a 10.
Having check-called the flop, Ivy will now lead the turn for 60,000.
I don't see him leading the turn with a 10. This will be a tight fold, but any 2 big cards are a big part of Ivy's range, and many, many of those hands are ahead. Ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack. Shall I continue?
Well, Mike clearly thinks he's behind. He's folded.
Like I said, tight fold. Gotta be a history-based decision.
Ivy had 9s.
Man, he got you guys good on that one. Remember when I was all like, call, he never has it here, and you guys are like, no, we want to fold. Well, look at Mike's sad little face. Live with that.
Mike down to 540,000, 10th in chips overall. Schemion's in the top 5 with more than $1 million. Right now, 2 Daniels lead. Coleman is 2nd in chips. Negreanu is #1 with close to 1.3 million. And Dinegs is in action right now. He has 4-bet Antonio Esfandiari pre-flop.
Daniel doesn't 4-bet light. Ace-king at absolute worst.
All in.
Esfandiari shoves.
Good luck, kid.
And Negreanu calls.
Yep.
And they are flipping.
Like tuna salad versus chicken salad. Ooh, can we get tuna salad for lunch? No, chicken salad. I just don't know.
Ooh, now Jack's no good anyway.
Go ahead.
Antonio will double up unless there's an ace or a king on the river.
Hey.
It's a 6.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Despite how he acts, his name is Daniel.
It's a one-man team.
You were just like, please have only ace-king.
It did feel like ace-king.
It also sort of felt like queens. No? Queens? Kings? Yeah, you're right. Felt like ace-king.
So Daniel Negreanu has lost the chip lead. Meanwhile, back at the feature table, the relentless Ole Schemion raises under the gun with ace-10 suited. Action on Phil Ivey. King-queen.
Probably just a spot to flat call. Tighter players will even fold this sometimes.
Ivey does call in position. Justin Bonomo folds the button. Mike McDonald gives up the small blind. Peter Chan in the big blind. Peter's part of the Macau crew. He's cashed a couple of times on the Asia Pacific Poker Tour.
And would you believe I have the exact same watch?
He calls. Three-way to the flop.
Well, it looks very similar.
Yeah, but yours is made of plastic. The flop is Queen 8-3, top pair for Ivey, second pair for Chan. Action check to the pre-flop aggressor.
Check.
Schemion does not continue.
Everyone's got funky checks going on. Except Ivey, he's not checking.
He bets 28,000.
Come on, Peter. You've got a pair, why not? You can suck out on Phil Ivey.
He calls, Schemion folds, heads up to the turn, which is another 8. Chan is now a 95% favorite. What was that?
It was a suck out noise. It's a new thing I'm trying.
Yeah, don't try it again. Chan now leads the turn for 50,000.
It's gonna catch on. This is a strange spot to lead with trips or at all, so Ivey might think he'd also play a worse queen this way.
Ivey calls. The river card is a king. Ivey now with 2 pair.
Ivey improved somewhat. He's got less than a pot-sized bet behind.
How much you playing for? Okay.
If Chan sets Ivey all in, he will be in a weird spot.
Well, Chan elects to bet small, just 55,000.
This spot, not as weird. I think he might be missing value.
Ivey feels compelled to call, but he loses more than 150,000 chips in that hand. And Peter Chan becomes the new tournament chip leader, playing more than 1.3 million.
Yeah, buddy, you beat Phil Ivey. You didn't get max value, but you got value. Oh, and he looked at you. That's a sign of respect for him. You're a person to him now.
Phil Ivey now a short stack. Can he get back up to speed? There's more action from Monaco after the break. Before the break, we lost Team Pro's Jason Mercier and Vanessa Selbst. Several other big names have also exited the tournament.
Good game.
Now, 24 remain at the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final Super High Roller. They've redrawn for seats at the final 3 tables, but only the top 8 will finish in the money with 1.8 million euros up top.
Ooh, seat draw. It's like getting new dance partners. Dance partners that want to rob you.
Well, Mike McDonald is now at the secondary feature table, along with Daniel Negreanu. He's raised from the hijack. He's been called by Ike Haxton. Action is now on Asian businessman Paul Poir.
Hey, remember Son of a Woman? Pooah! Pooah!
Poir calls as well. 3-way to the flop.
Ooh, for what? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we've only caught one of his cards. Well, there is a 4, along with an ace and a king, so we know Haxton has top pair.
And Daniel's about to continue into 2 better hands.
A continuation bet of 36,000.
Top pair and the nut flush draw, and someone's betting into you. Tough not to be excited in this spot.
Haxton calls. And Poir folds. Heads up to the turn. 6 of spades. Haxton now has a lock on the hand.
And wow, Daniel's gonna double barrel this with a 0 equity hand.
85K.
And this is Daniel using his image. You wouldn't expect him to be this light very often. Obviously, it's bad timing on his part, though, because I cannot fold.
He calls a second time, and we go to the river, which is the Queen of Diamonds.
Ike whiffs, but he's still got the best hand. Can Daniel fire a 3rd time with an air ball? Of course he can.
Wow. Negreanu empties the clip, 185,000.
And for Daniel's style, this is perfect bet sizing. This is his standard value bet, and Ike's not beating any value bets, especially the kind Daniel usually makes.
Haxton folds the best hand.
Well done.
Show me a bluff.
Why?
Because
I never do that.
It would be so fun. Jesus.
He is laughing really hard.
That was poetic. It's hard to bluff Ike.
What the hell? Once in a blue moon, you gotta steam.
Nice job working off your image there, Daniel. Then you went and showed it, and now it's ruined. You ruined your image.
Daniel came second in the first ever Super High Roller at the 2011 PCA. He currently sits third on the all-time money list, just behind Phil Ivey. Also at Daniel's table, Richard Young.
Doesn't seem to be tuning that massage. I think you're hurting him.
Other players who've come to Monaco from Macau include Ronno Lowe, perhaps the biggest cash game player in Macau.
I love the Macau boys. They're like cowboys, only billionaires and way Chineser.
Also part of that crew, the current tournament chip leader, Peter Chan. He's at our feature table. He starts this hand with close to 1.6 million. And he raises with ace-king. Couple of folds.
Hey, you cannot raise Ivey hand.
Oh, but you can.
That's Sun Lezo, another member of the Macau boys. Ole Schemion has aces in the small blind.
Oh no, again, hammer, don't hurt him.
Schemion, 3 bets to 91,000. Talal Shakurchi folds the big blind. It's back on Chan.
This pot really doesn't have to get any bigger here. Super deep and in position. You don't have to go cray-cray.
Chan calls.
Yeah, let's play nice. See a flop.
He has the advantage of position. Well, the flop is low. 4-4 deuce with 2 diamonds.
Problem with ace-king here is you pretty much always have to call at least one bet, even when you miss, maybe more.
Schemion continues for 100,000.
Come on. It's ace-king. How can you fold ace-king on that board? Just a few more chips to see another card. Come on. Just 4 chips. Those are the ones.
There they go. 408,000 in the middle. A 3 on the turn. Both players now with a wheel draw.
Chan can only chop.
Schemion, a 91% favorite to win outright. Looks like he'll fire again. $255,000.
This is a pretty big bet to call. Yes, there's that gut shot, but all is probably mostly 3-betting good hands before the flop, and at this point, ace-king high probably isn't doing so hot against those good hands.
Peter Chan folds.
Good fold from Chan. Good straightforward line from Schemion. Thank goodness he finally played a hand a normal person can understand.
Schemion adds 215,000 to his stack. He is firing on all cylinders today. He is crushing, as he has been for the last 24 months.
I am 20 years old. 21 years old. How much money I won in live poker tournaments? I think like cashes of about 3.5 million or something. I'm not so sure right now. I just always try to improve as much as I can and not let the success go over my head and just keep it simple. Some people talked to me already on the streets and, hey, are you Ole? Yeah, it's me. Hi. When I'm at the table, I'm super confident with my game actually. I don't see any reason not to be. I'm not intimidated by anyone. Everybody's the same for me. They play good, they get credit and respect at the table. If not, they don't get it. To become EPT Player of the Year would be a nice accomplishment for me, for sure. But in the end, it doesn't change anything for the moment. No big goals. I'm just having fun in life. Actually, I want to do my driver's license this year. So that's one thing I want to do for sure.
He's a good-looking millionaire genius, but he can't drive a car. He's like the bizarro me.
Ah, Daniel Negreanu is coming to the feature table.
No, Mr. Nuts, come here.
Hey, what is happening? There's too much junk.
Is Peter Chan a hoarder?
Talal Shakurchi is first to speak here. He folds.
Yep.
This is weird.
I will.
24.
Sorel raises with a suited ace.
Okay.
Daniel just calls with jacks.
Typical small ball Daniel.
Chan folds.
All the way through. Gotcha. Ooh.
I'll get a room, you two.
I feel like Sound Guy Greg doesn't have to do it that way, but he chooses to do it that way.
Everyone else has folded.
Me and you? Good luck, kid.
You too, buddy.
Don't just bluff all 3 streets like you do. I know you like to do that.
That's my thing.
Don't be stupid. Think smart. Focus. Oh, look at that. If you have a 9, you're in good shape.
Let the games begin.
Only 1 heart on the flop for Sorrel.
This is too sexy. He put it right on the button. Too sexy. What do you want, 24?
23.
23, less.
Yes, Daniel, that's right. Focus.
He knows I'm not going to fold for that price. That's kind of... You know I'm never folding for 23. He knows. For sure, I never fold less than the bet before the flop on a 997.
3 of diamonds on the turn. Jack still good.
Never, 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 never would I fold for 23. Even with Queen Jack offsuit, I would call. You would too.
Check.
I'm good with check.
Check, check.
Super passive line from Daniel this time around.
Sorrel pairs his 4 on the river.
He's got some showdown value, and it's tough to get paid by worse.
I have to try. I have to try. I have to.
Speech!
I have to try. I have to do it. 57.
57,000
Oh. I had to.
I don't know how you call this.
I got good cards, man.
Seriously, Sorrel, don't call. Just don't. If Daniel gets Sorrel to call here, he could sell ice to an Eskimo.
He's counted out the call.
Crushed or cubed?
Jacks.
That's good. Nice hand.
Sorrel just couldn't help himself.
How did he get paid there?
Told you, 2 good cards.
We're telling the truth. Should listen to you.
I had to do it. I had to do it. But I had to do it could mean 2 things. Right? It's like I missed, so I have to do it.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. See? Big mouth tricky.
Story checks out.
If you want to play in an EPT event, go to PokerStars.com. There are qualifiers every day. We're down to 20 at the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final Super High Roller. There will be a redraw when we get to 16. Well, there's an all-in at the secondary feature table. Mike McDonald gets it in with jacks against Antonio Esfandiari's 9s.
I'm pretty sure Mike's shirt is from that scene in Star Wars where Chewbacca doesn't get a medal, and that is racist. For Wookiees everywhere, 9.
Aren't Wookiees a species rather than a race?
You know, James...
Well, jacks are holding. Mike just has to fade a 9 on the river. He doubles up.
Oh, yeah, ship the pot to the Wookiee hater down there.
He's just always all in, this guy.
Heard he owns a big piece of a spice mine on Kessel.
Antonio takes a big hit. Mike's now playing more than 400,000.
Typical Timex hand.
Timex usually gets it in good, and it usually stays good.
Well, at the outer table, it's Phil Ivey versus Dan Jungleman Cates. Ivey check raises the flop. Sexy.
On a super dry board, too. This board is drier than a nun's bowl of potpourri. You can't have the convent smelling all musty.
Jungleman calls. The turn card is the 5 of clubs. Straight draws and flush draws out there.
And when Ivey check raises flop, then bets here, it's very polarizing.
175,000.
It's usually kings plus or some kind of air / gut shot. Frustrating here if you got a hand like 9s or 10s.
Cates reluctantly folds. And Phil Ivey will add 120,000 chips to his stack. He's now playing 608,000.
I don't know what you had.
I didn't have the best hand.
So then that means I got you. Right?
I think it means the opposite, unless this is Phil's way of getting him now. Look, Dan, I'm not gonna lie, we're all terrified of you.
Blinds at 8,000, 16,000 with a 2,000 ante. At our feature table, we are sweating with Daniel Negreanu. We'll only see his hole cards here. Now, there's been an under-the-gun raise from Ole Schemion. Action has been folded to Daniel. He's on the button with King Jack.
And I gotta put in 36? Okay. Power. See how powerful I play it? Let's go. Position. C'est bon.
We just lost France.
Fabien Quass, modelling a delightful beard, calls out of the big blind as well.
It is delightful.
And you stay there.
A Queen 10-4 flop. Daniel's up and down.
Fabian's probably calling pretty wide when he's getting such a good price.
Action check to the pre-flop aggressor.
This kid doesn't miss many opportunities to c-bet.
Pay.
And Daniel calls.
Pay.
Payer?
Payer means tall. What is payer? Tapis. I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, don't get him confused.
Too late. I already bet the 50. I'm good.
And we just lost French-speaking Canada.
Quass calls as well, so we are still three-way heading to the turn.
All very standard so far. Flop bet was big, but what can we do?
Three of spades on the turn.
I hope we've got some plans to bluff at this when we whiff so hard.
Fabien checks. And Schemion is set to bet again into two opponents, 140,000.
Lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but we still can't fold, can we? We're Daniel Negreanu. We love calling like a vegan loves moral superiority.
There's the call. And Quass folds.
Here comes a good one. I feel it.
The river card is an 8. Quass with a river 2 pair.
Brutal rib, Fobs.
Schemion slows down, he checks.
Well, pretty much our only shot at winning this hand is to bluff, but not a lot got there on this river. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think we should give this up. No, we're betting.
225k.
You bet a queen here?
Would I bet a queen?
Yeah.
I would bet Jack 9, 10-8 of hearts, King Queen, pocket fours, and ace queen.
And King Jack. No, wait, not King Jack.
One of those ones. Oh, wait a minute. And also, I got to figure out something else that balances.
Yeah, you might
with
bet
that.
tens.
Huh?
You might bet tens.
3 tens?
Mm.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I would 3-bet him with tens. So it's probably not that.
This is possible.
Huh? I didn't say what I had. I said a range.
No, I was saying, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were chiming in.
Yeah,
So
it's
I've
like
still got a bet.
if you have a range, you're okay.
He's still thinking, so
Yeah.
no offense, gentlemen.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Let him.
Okay, take
I have this. I don't think I have it. Wait a minute. No, I missed.
Story checks out.
Oh, I had aces!
That wins. Yeah. I needed an ace on the river. That would have been good. I was pretending I had Jack 9.
Pretending. I like that. Makes the game more whimsical. I'm pretending I'm a pirate. Arr!
Schemion with aces again and now up over 2 million. Well, at the secondary feature table, Antonio Esfandiari has shoved with fours.
And my guess is he's probably fine with this shove getting through.
The all-in is for 286,000. Aces for McDonald in the big blind.
It's not getting through.
Calls. Showdown.
Antonio's more of a laugh on the inside kind of guy.
The rest of the table amused by how well Mike McDonald has been running today. And Antonio Esfandiari needs a 4 to double up.
Couple of backdoors.
The turn card is a queen.
Good luck, everyone.
Just 2 outs for Esfandiari. He's out.
And there goes one of the big personalities in this tournament. Now we've only got 2 talkers left, Daniel Negreanu and Mike McDonald. Look at this chatterbox. Look at the way he works the camera. Oh, and he has us in stitches with that stacking gag.
He's up to 714,000 now.
Antonio, come back. Say something. 1 round of lobbing things? No.
At the outer table, Igor Kurganov has shoved the turn. He's got John Juanda covered. Juanda calls all in. The cards go on their backs. Well, Juanda is behind, but he has got a ton of outs.
He's got a flush draw and he's open-ended. Both these guys did exactly what they had to do.
14 cards Juanda can hit to survive. That is not one of them.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Juanda will head for the exit, as Igor Kurganov adds 318,000 chips to his stack.
Classic Kurgles.
A lot of big names hitting the rail as we play down to the final two tables, and another knockout.
All right, yeah, good game, guys.
Ike Haxton eliminated by Richard Young.
Sayonara, Ike Haxton. Hey, wait a second. It's a sailboat. You just have to relax your eyes.
17 remain. We're one elimination away from the redraw. Back at the main feature table, actions on Daniel Negreanu. Ace-5 suited in the hijack. He raises. Peter Chan has 8-4 of hearts. He folds.
What happened to the screen?
Fabian Quast folds. Schemion has the same hand, suited in diamonds.
Let's see if he flats or 3-bets. We may see some value in a 3-bet against Daniel's late-ish opening range.
He does re-raise. Talal Shakurchi in the big blind has 10s, and he shoves.
Ooh, sweet. Save me money.
Indeed.
Sorry,
I call.
He calls.
Schemion calls, putting Talal Shakurchi at risk.
With the exact same cards. Hearts. Yeah.
That's good
Ace
use.
5 of hearts.
That's good use of me.
Yeah. Ace 5 of hearts.
So cracking 10s would be super dirty then.
Huh?
You would fold?
No, come on. Suited ace in position?
Shakurchi a 72% favorite to double up and survive. Not anymore. Nut flush for Schemion.
Well, that's all for Talal.
Yeah.
Drawing dead on the turn.
Good game. Nice hand.
I'm lucky.
Cheers.
Talal Shakurchi eliminated.
More like Talal Arrivederci. He is out of here.
And Ole Schemion is now the chip leader with close to 2.4 million. Well, we're down to 16 players. It is time for the redraw. A couple of short stacks right now, and a few players, including Mike McDonald and Phil Gruesome, who are edging towards the danger zone.
Danger zone!
Meanwhile, there's a fair few of the Macau boys in the top half of the leaderboard, and two players with more than 2 million. Daniel Cates and chip leader Ole Schemion.
I'm obviously feeling very good. It's a good situation to be in, 16 left. Everybody who has a decent stack has good chances to win, and I just feel 100% confident.
Next time, Macau meets Monaco.
Lots of money, man. A lot of money. Crazy to call. It's too much. No, why do you do that for?
We play a lot together. We are very good friends. Maybe he will win the title.
But they'll have to get past the pros to make the final table.
Timex. I'm so scared. I'm a heart attack.